Your Apple Watch can do way more than you think, and Apple barely tells you about any of it. We're talking gesture controls that let you run your watch without even touching the screen, sending money directly from your wrist to someone else's wrist, and a flashlight trick inside theater mode that most people have never even heard of. And that's just the start. I'm gonna show you 10 features today that make you feel like you got a brand new watch, and you didn't even have to spend a dime. And as always, timestamps for every tip are in the description below, so if something catches your eye, you can jump straight to it. Otherwise, let's get started. We're gonna start off with an easy one, and that is with switching your watch faces. So to switch your watch face, you tap and hold, and then you can swipe, go to the watch face you want, tap again. Apple changed this a little while back. Before it was much easier, and I'm gonna show you how to get that back. So if you go into the settings app, you scroll all the way down until you see clock. It's right there. Then you have this option to swipe to switch watch faces. So whether you already have this on or you don't, and either way, if you don't like it, you can turn it on or off. I like to keep it on. So now when I close and I go back to my watch face, now I can just swipe from the edge to quickly switch between my watch faces. This works great for those that like to have watch faces with a lot of complications, and then they also like to have some with very little complications. I just love it that Apple actually gives us these options to customize to the way we want it to work. The next tip for you is actually in the control center. If you didn't know, in watchOS 26, Apple expanded the control center to have much more power. So if I go down, I can click Edit, and then there's a little plus button right up here. If I go ahead and tap that, now I can scroll through, and there's a lot more options on here. One being the notes. So this is one that I personally really enjoy, so I'm going to go ahead and add it, and I actually like to keep this all the way up at the top, and we're just going to have it right there, and now we've set it. So now I have the note right here, and this actually allows you to create a quick and easy note directly on your watch. So all I have to do is I just hit the plus, it launches the Notes app, and it's gonna automatically start taking that note. It is so fast, so seamless, and if you ask me, it's just very powerful as well. You have quick access to your notes just with a couple taps on your watch. You can start taking a note to remember whatever that is that you want to remember, and I'm just personally a big fan of having that here. But that's not it. Like, we'll give you like a 2A tip. You also have additional ones as well. You can set up a shortcut to do all sorts of things. You can actually set up reminders in here as well. So I can go right here and I can create a new reminder the exact same as I created that new note. This is perfect for anybody that gets ideas on the go and doesn't want to lose them. It also pairs with Siri as well. So you can just raise your wrist, say, hey, you know who, add a note, and it does the same thing, hands-free. You don't even have to tap anything. That way your best ideas don't have to wait for you to find your phone. And of course, everything with iCloud syncs to your phone. For this next tip, I'm actually gonna put the watch on my wrist, and that's because we're gonna be talking about gestures. So if you didn't know, with the Series 9 and newer, the Ultra 2, 3, and the SE3, you have two gestures that let you control your watch without even touching it. And that is the double tap. So if I double tap, I can actually navigate directly to my widgets and take a look right here. And the other one is the wrist flip or the wrist flick, which is when you flick your wrist back, it automatically closes. So if you get a new notification, let's say it pops up, you can actually navigate through your notifications through here as well, which is really nice. And then I can flip them to close it. Same thing, if maybe I open an app and I'm counting my steps, I can just flip it to close it, and then I'm back at my watch face. This is super nice. It's not as functional as I wish it was. Like, I wish when you were doing a workout, so if I were to go ahead and start a workout right here, I wish the double tap actually did something. So if I try to double tap while I have a workout going on, it just tells me that there's no functionality there. And it's just a little bit of a bummer. So I'm hoping that Apple actually does more in the future when it comes to these gestures, these hand-free gestures, so you can control your watch even more than you can now. But even with its limitations, the double tap to interact with your watch and the wrist flick to go back home still feels magical. Now moving on to the next tip, a lot of you probably know that Apple doesn't allow you to put your step count on the Apple Watch. They don't give you that complication option, even though they do show you, if you go into activity, you can scroll down and see the step count right here. Now, you can get a third-party app to do it for you, and that is what this one is. And this one's a little bit special because this is one that I developed myself. It is still a work in progress. As you can see, the step count does not match perfectly, and honestly, it probably never will. For some people it does, for other people it doesn't, and it's just the way Apple likes to calculate step counts. I don't understand it. I've tried and tried and tried, and it's just, they don't make it easy, let's just say that. But this app is not done. It is still a work in progress, and it is only $1.99 in the App Store. If you're interested at all in this app and getting your step count on your watch face, now this watch face is an ultra only watch face, but you can have it in, it supports like all the complications that Apple allows. So the link is down below, and it is currently being worked on, and it does come with a companion iPhone app that gives you even more info right there. Now, the next tip I have for you involves timers and Siri. Now, I think we all know that timers on the watch is probably one of the most used features. I know I use it all the time, but there's a chance you're probably saying too much to actually get it to start. Most people would actually say, hey, you know who, start a timer for 5 minutes. You don't have to say all that. Now, I'm not gonna activate Siri because I have Siri devices all over and the watch is kind of lower priority. My HomePod will take over, but all I have to do is activate Siri, 5 minutes,
5 minutes.
and just like that, a 5-minute timer has started. Now, I don't even have to say, hey, you know who, to actually get it to work on the watch. You actually have the ability, if it's not on by default, which it should be, you go into settings, come into Siri, and then you have the raise to speak. If this is on, then all you have to do is just raise your wrist and then start talking to Siri, and it works great. Now, the other thing that you may not know is once you have a timer going, of course, it's gonna appear right here, but if you need to change that time, in most cases, for some reason, it's not working on mine, maybe because it's the beta and something's going wrong, you can actually just tell it to change the current timer and to add minutes, but you can also just say, change current timer.
How long do you want to change it to?
7 minutes.
Done.
So now my timer has reset itself to 7 minutes. So it's nice for whether you're cooking, working out, and you just want to add time, remove time from your current timer. You can just kind of reset it just by using your voice, which is really nice. Now moving on to tip 6. Now this one, some people love it, some people hate it. I still don't feel like it's that useful, but for other people, it might be kind of nice. So basically, if you go into the music app and you have a watch, I'm pretty sure this is on maybe the Series 9 and higher as well, but it might just be on Series 10 and higher and the Ultra 2 and up. I'll have to verify it and I'll put something down below. But you can actually play music directly from your watch. You don't actually have to have headphones or use your phone. All you have to do is come in here. Now, I'm not gonna use any of this, but I think I can safely do brown noise, at least you would think. And I'm gonna go ahead and hit play. And if you listen, that's all coming from the speaker in my watch. So if I move it closer, so you can actually do that without using headphones or anything else. You can listen to music. Now, I've asked some people, when would they actually use this? Because obviously this is not audiophile quality. This is like the lowest of the low quality. And I had some people say that they like to go to the beach and they like to have a little bit of music, but they don't want to carry anything around. Other people said as they're working around the house, they like to listen to music and they don't want to have their phone in their pocket or wherever and stuff like that. I can see a little bit of use cases for that. Like, it doesn't seem like it's the best But if you are somebody that listens to it, let me know in the comments below, how often do you actually use this feature? Next up is the red flashlight trick. So if you didn't know, you can actually activate the flashlight. Oh, there's the timer. But if you didn't know, you can actually activate the flashlight right here, and you actually have some options to go from. So you have the regular flashlight, you have the flashing light, and then you also have this red flashlight. And this is really nice to have at night because it's not so hard on your eyes. But how do you, you have to get through all those to actually get to this one? Well, there's a trick to automatically get to that one. And the way you do it is if you go into the control center, you go down somewhere around here. If you don't have it, you can always edit. But there's this theater mode option. And if you're in theater mode, it automatically sets your phone to silent. And if you turn on, which I didn't have to close that, but if you turn on the flashlight, it automatically goes to the red flashlight. So if you're curious how this works and how you might want to use it, the way I actually use it is I have a shortcut that automatically turns on theater mode at night. Now, if you want to see how I set all that up, let me know in the comments down below, and maybe I'll make another video of shortcuts with the Apple Watch and how to supercharge it with those. Now for this next tip, I'm going to need my iPhone with me, and we're going to talk about the camera app on the Apple Watch. Yeah, did you know there was a camera app on the Apple Watch? Some of you I'm sure do, but the way it works is really cool. So basically I can come down here, I can open up the camera app on the iPhone, and then it automatically launches the camera app on my phone as well. Now I am running the beta and it seems like it takes a little extra time to actually connect, but there we have it. So now I can just come right in here and it gives me the option to take a 3-second timer. I also have controls. So if I want to turn off the timer, I can actually change it to the rear camera right in here, or I can go back to the front camera. And then I can also have the flash off, and right here, live photos on or off. You get all the controls. Now, right in here, all I have to do now, so once you get your group all set up, you look at your watch, you make sure everybody's in frame, and then all you have to do is just tap that button. It counts down to 3, and then it takes the picture. And you can even look at it right here on the Apple Watch to make sure everybody's in frame before you move and go to grab your phone. This is so nice. This is one of those Apple features that they were really thinking this through and trying to make the watch as useful as possible. And it's nice. I can't tell you how often I use this at family gatherings and stuff like that. It is the best feature on the Apple Watch to just kind of show off the Apple Watch, because everybody's always surprised. They're like, oh, you're gonna have to hit the button and then run real fast. Nope, I don't have to, because I have my Apple Watch and I can just tap a button there and it's gonna just wait and then take a picture, or it can instantly take a picture. You have the control. Now also, if you're wondering, well, what if I wanted to take a video instead? Well, all you have to do is if you tap and hold, it's gonna start the video, and then you have that ability as well directly from your watch. Super nice, super cool. And then when you're ready to stop, you can just stop it right there as well. So very awesome, very great feature. This is one of those features that just make the Apple Watch amazing. Next on the list, let's go ahead and zoom right back into the watch so you can see it. We're going to talk about tap to cash. Now, the main point here is that you can send money directly from your wrist to someone else's wrist or phone, or however you want to do it. So basically, all you have to do is, if you didn't know, you can double tap this. If you have your card set up, if you have Apple Cash, this is really works best with Apple Cash. You can come in here and you can say tap to cash, and then you can set the setting right in here, and then all I have to do is get somebody else's device and just get close enough to it, and it's actually just gonna send that money directly to them through Apple Pay. And this is so nice and just so cool the way this works. You don't need your phone. You don't need anything. You can just send money. I don't have to send it through their phone number or anything like that. I can just quickly send them money. This works so much better than just having to try to scan a QR code or anything like that with Venmo. If you have the money in your Apple Cash, it makes it so easy to send that any way you want it to another person with a device that of course can take it. All the latest iPhones of course can do it, and a lot of the Samsung ones can as well, including you can do watch to watch, which is really cool. If you have the Apple Watch Ultra, you can actually customize your action button with a shortcut. I didn't know if you know that or not, but if I go into the settings and then I come down to action button right here, you can actually set up shortcuts ahead of time, but you go into the actions and you can come down here, select whichever option you want. I've selected the shortcut option, and then I've already pre-set up a shortcut action called Action Menu. So what this one allows me to do is once I hit the action button, rather than have it just do one thing, it gives me a whole list. So I can do different workouts, outside walk, indoor bike, lifting, basketball, but I also could have the flashlight, record audio. I can actually control the lights in my house all directly from just a couple taps with the action button. So right here, I can just show you and then tap indoor walk. Now it's gonna automatically start that walk directly for me, countdown. This is where it gets so much more powerful with the Apple Watch. If you wanna see exactly how I set this action menu up, you can click right here to watch that full walkthrough video. If you've enjoyed any of these tips, let me know in the comments or just by hitting that like button. It generally helps the channel and it means the world to me. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. God bless.